Hello, everyone. This is John Burness talking to you all. I hope everyone had a very wonderful Christmas, solstice, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and New Year's coming up. I am speaking with this new microphone that was gifted to me by my brother for Christmas yesterday. And I am hoping sometime next year I can do a podcast using this microphone to enhance the quality of my podcasts. And of course, that depends if there's even going to be a podcast next year, because I'm very picky about making sure I have the most amazing guests, and I'm personally very restrictive about not going outside of my field of expertise, because I want it to be obvious that I'm not in this for personal gain or for money, but I'm in it for the love of my craft, which is music and poetry and a variety of ways to combine the two. So last month, or was it 2 months ago, I did a podcast with a professor named with David Crystal, who is a scholar on John Bradburne, who holds the Guinness Book of World Records as the most lines of poetry written by a single person, about 187,000. And I hope you check it out. But the real reason I'm recording this is because a theme and a topic that has increasingly fascinated me is motherhood. But I mean it in a very unsuperficial, very profound way. I'm talking about the role of it rather than the nature of it. I'm talking about, people that are willing to give up their lives for a young, innocent person who doesn't know how the world works and building them up like a castle. Especially something I like to call surrogate mothers, which are people in my life, and I'm sure millions of others, who may not have been a biological mother, but were a mother figure for people who either didn't have the most functional family, or were orphans, or came from abusive households. And it's making me very emotional thinking about it this week, because I've had quite a few of those in my life, and they are my biggest inspiration. The more unbiasedly I try to think about it, I realize they are the reason I'm doing all of this. Whether it's my aunt, or it's my school psychologist who helped me a lot, very profoundly. It's those people that are kind of the reason I'm doing this. And out of inspiration from my fascination with this topic, I find, in my experience, the best depiction of this is from a John Bradburne poem. It doesn't have a title. It's just Letter to Mother. It was written on April 20th, 1969. And the reason I love this so much is because in the beginning of the podcast that I talked with Crystal, he emphasized that John Bradburne hated writing in prose. And this has a little bit of prose in it, but it's both prose and poetry at the same time. He does a little bit of prose, and then he explodes in the most cliche, the most romantic, most classical poem after writing prose, which is supposed to be the opposite of that. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I mean that in a yin and yang sort of thing. So I would love to read to you all this poem, because I think it is just insanely beautiful. I might get emotional, but I would love to read it to you all. Okay. Letter to Mother, April 20th, 1969. In Silveira House, P.O. Box 545, Salisbury, Rhodesia. Okay. Dearest Mother, many thanks for your 3 last letters, for the 9th, of the 12th, and of the 15th. Writing in anything other than verse is to me a sterile, fruitless, and abortive pain. So I am sure you will allow me the pleasure of replying in verse, and in verse of giving you what news and Paschal tidings I may have. In saying that, writing in anything other than verse is to me heaviness. I do not refer to what I receive, but to what I send. It makes me happy and augments my glee to read about the pleasure which you had, and Paschal greetings on Masasa trees, the sight of which in spring makes many glad. Blessed be God that Alleluias leapt to Easter sunshine best of 20 years, receded winter cold, no longer slept, to daffodils but trumpeted their cheers. Hurrah for Mary gladdened in the way, with Ariel on Easter holiday. Such marked improvement in the health of him whose name is Charles, which rhymes with nothing well, is also Alleluias swim. May he this summer sound as any bell. Anthony Spider in the London Zoo is weaving there a most intriguing web, so that it may receive its master too. Employed Terriot ere Paschal tidings ebb, concerning Father Francis lately passed, to clearer sight of bright Assisi's Lord, keep you the photo please, and count him classed with those who stroll up over on the sward. Your Easter plotee gave me great delight. I pray may little Peter get all right. After the Highland East with feast of views, I trust the flatland on the new estate may be acceptable to Ina Hughes. Give her my greetings, please, or soon too late. Cow dung sincerely gives a fragrant smell when couched in redolence amongst the farms. Church floors out here composed of it, though well dried and advanced in age, increases the charms of rustic things ecclesiastical, and I recall in distant Hindustan, villages built thereof so pastoral, is cow dung and its fragrance, Lindisfarne, and Quar, and Cloney, in the fields of God. Extol it, so did Fist. Think this you odd? Brother-in-law of Thurston on the Isle of Malta seems approaching fast his end. But heavenwards he goes, it makes one smile. Being converted to conversions tend, his measures now he shows the greatest zeal. Bringing a friend within the Roman wheel, Patricia, though more deeply is in need, shall find lone life a very hard to lead. Ring of bright water, I have seen this book. Must have been lovely, if it comes I'll look. Hard at the screen whereon it shall appear. Alone you went, yet loved it, that is clear. Thurston will want to see it, traverse ill. We knew in India, very handsome still. On leave to sweet Kashmir Bill Travers went, with Thurston and their interests were blent. We saw him in the former film Born Free, Virginia's Affair, a fine is he. Enchanting little monkey, may Teresa bathe in the charming clime where palm trees are. May Tweaky, lately back from gay Paris, enjoy her London and her liberty. Joy to your balcony and climbing plant, sublimely set in cider barrel should. It seem to grow unduly on the slant. Recall how cider soaks in oaken wood. I know you are a boon to Mrs. Bell. I wish I were as neighborly as you. So heavenly am I who cry to hell each time a human figure heaves to view. I hope the Mayo is recovered now. I trust the weather, briefly having lapsed, is lusting for the blossom on the bough to bloom as though it never had collapsed. Now for my news, as well you are aware, it's all on rolling views and attic air. The swifts are scarce, and mainly have departed, the swallows for a summer to the north, and yet, since clime and time and space were started, what country knew than this less winter wrath? The ransom flocks of speckled guinea fowls roam in the wilderness, roost above the knolls. In great and ancient trees the eagle owls cry to the stars in solitude, all souls. The beaming noontide dances in a haze of heat along the limits of our ground. The butterfly's delight amidst a blaze of such fair weather as is rarely found. Mashonaland, this most amazing clime befits you for eternity in time. Perhaps you are right about Kaodong. Maybe I meant the fragrance of a buyer. To be more precise and nicer, I'll have to sleep on this and work it out. I hope your chill is cured and all gone. I hope that neither Budget nor Bridget turn out to be so bad. Much love and many thanks for both gifts and your last 3 letters. Sing Cuckoo. Your loving son, John. P.S. Reply Kaodong. Dried Kaodong would qualify my meaning. Your Super Easter card is in my Ark of the Covenant. So, that is just something I really felt it was necessary to showcase to the world. I will share a link to access that specific poem, letter, prose, all of the above. And I hope you found beauty or profundity or any insight into this. I apologize also for my less than perfect pronunciation at times, but I am not God, so I don't know everything. And I will say again, I hope you all have had a wonderful holiday, and I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's coming up. I have so many ideas that I would love to materialize, and I hope I stick to it. And thank you all, and goodbye.